All my life I wanted to be pretty. I thought it would change everything. Uglies is a Netflix original based on a novel by Scott Westerfield. This is apparently the first in a series of 4 books. More on that book in a bit. But this is also directed by Mick G, who's done various music videos. He did Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. He also did Terminator Salvation. He did The Babysitter and The Babysitter Killer Queen. Yes, we got Samara Weaving in another film called Killer Queen. I can't help it. Sorry, I had to do it. We Are Marshall. And he also did Rim of the World, which shockingly is not a more adult version of that particular scene in Blue is the Warmest Color, but I digress. So, based on a young adult novel, you would expect, okay, the usual, cast of crazy characters, and since it's a dystopian setting, you would expect some energetic stuff and somebody fighting against the oppressive system, and that's what you get with Joey King, who I actually have been a fan of since her brief role in The Conjuring. And even though she has been in numerous movies that have not worked out all that well, The Princess wasn't all that great. At least she's gained a chance to be in bigger projects. She was in Bullet Train, had a pretty good role there, and honestly, I just think Joey King has bright potential as a leading lady, and I think she has done well given the material she's been given. So, let's talk about this particular movie. One, it was written by 3 different people. Vanessa Taylor, who's done television, Divergent, and The Shape of Water. The Shape of Water. Yeah, Divergent. And boy, remember Divergent? Well, congratulations, because you're going to see a lot of divergent paths taken in this. And also it stays on a linear path, in the sense that it really doesn't deviate from just going full bore ahead by slamming you with a ton of goddamn information. Because let's go back to that book before I talk about the rest of the goddamn writing. The first book is 432 pages long. Now, this movie is 100 minutes long, with end credits. They just slam us right into the goddamn movie. I don't even know if fans of the books would actually enjoy this movie. I didn't even know that this was actually a series of books until I checked out Google. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not in the young adult audience demographic. I know that may be shocking at 43, nearly 44 years old. But like in Joey King, Laverne Cox, I was excited to see Laverne Cox get a chance to actually have a meteor role, because I've been impressed by what Laverne Cox has done in previous projects. Very, very good actress. But anyway, so you have also Brienne Shu. I think that's how you say it. She was in Inhuman, Unhuman. I forget the exact term, because while she was great, that movie wasn't all that great. But she's been in other projects. I mean, there's talent here. There is talent here. That talent just isn't given anything, to sink its teeth into, because this movie basically just says, bang, we're going to go over here, bang, we're going to go over here, and we're going to just keep going around this to fit 432 pages worth of information into a runtime where, yes, you can't include everything from a goddamn book. I get it, the Harry Potter books, which were massively expansive books, Lord of the Rings, all that, but you could at least try, but McG doesn't want to do that, and McG actually seems like he likes to make fun movies. The problem is this movie doesn't allow itself to be fun, because it's just a bingo card checklist, whatever you want to go, a cliche-ridden list of just, okay, we have somebody fighting against the system, somebody that has to basically, change who they are, and they go to this particular place realizing that the life they had isn't what they actually thought it was. It was an evil, oppressive system, and these are the good guys and all this, but they don't allow anything to breathe. Not that I wanted this movie to be any longer, because it was fucking goddamn awful, but holy shit. I mean, Jacob Foreman was another writer, and a few of his credits, among them include All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. And then you had Whit Anderson, who did TV and also a movie called Players. Look, you don't need people that have done a bunch of movies to write a young adult novel adaptation, like this. You just need people that actually seem to understand how to write. But I'm convinced this movie was written by AI, because a lot of the concepts seem to be done by AI. Now, maybe the book's good. I don't goddamn know. I have nothing against Scott Westerfield. I have plenty against Netflix just churning out shit like this. This is right after watching Rebel Ridge. Should have gotten a theatrical release. Should have then gone to Netflix. And that's something where Netflix can use their platform for good. Or they can churn out stuff like this, where I'm just going to say right now for sport, they are teasing a possible sequel. When they threw so much information in that wasn't allowed to breathe, and even if you read the books, I would imagine this would be like, okay, well, no, that's not how that stuff happened. But even as just a viewer of dystopian-based, futuristic, young adult stuff where they're fighting against the system, this is bad. This is like Divergent, but just without any creative writing. And thankfully, without Shailene Woodley, the crackpot that she is. But yes, you have basically Tally, Joey King, and you have Paris. They are known as Squint and Nose, because in this particular dystopian future, the world's fucked. Any uglies must be turned pretty via transformation cosmetic surgery at the age of 16. Seems kind of gross, but whatever. It does kind of remind me of In Time, where, the 25-year thing and all that. No, you can change your appearance, you can do all this, or you can get more time, you can do this, and yeah, that would work if they really had any ability to like actually make a film that wasn't just assaulting you with images that don't register, except, well, that happened, well, that happened, well, that happened. Oh, this is happening right now. Oh, these are some of the worst green screen and special effects I have seen in fucking years. It's really bad. They briefly established friendship between Joey King and Chase Strikes, whatever the hell his name is. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Nothing against the guy, but he's barely given any screen time until they do a little transformation thing on him. But they have a brief friendship. She ends up basically meeting a young lady named Shay, Brienne. And it turns out there's this guy named David that's living out in the woods among the smoke, because there's this, far off wilderness thing where they live off the land. And the state wants to fight against them because there's some stuff going on over there. And the state wants to stop that. Laverne Cox, by the way, had a character that I wanted to get into. Just because you can tell, trying to be just this cold, calculated leader of this, sterilized world. Where if you're pretty, great. If you're ugly, you're fucked. Simple premise. Bad execution. A movie that basically was executed with a bullet in the back of the head within the first 10 goddamn minutes, and then the corpse just basically was having its last thoughts stretched out for a while. And that's it. There is not much to this movie, except to get into spoilers to talk about a few things, but this is fucking dumb. Really stupid. Really, really goddamn bad. It kind of reminded me of that Exy song, Ugly, except that was creative. This movie just is ugly and boring, ironic for a movie called The Uglies, or Uglies. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So, yeah, we have an opening narration from Joey King, who just seems like she was being forced to read these lines at practically gunpoint. This writing is rotten, this dialogue is rotten. Boom, boom, boom. We see, Squint and Nose, as they're known. They have scars on their hand. Want to know how I got these scars? There's a scar from, like, a flashback when Paris, with an E, by the way, to avoid, I guess, France getting upset. And Joey King gives herself a scar. And then Paris goes off to get change and get golden eyes and all this stuff. But the thing about this particular transformation is they put lesions on your brain and essentially, lobotomize you and control you. Okay, that's not really all that surprising. This is abysmal. The writing, the acting, the directing. McGee should be, quite frankly, ostracized for this. And she goes to look for Nose. She ends up putting on a mask and jetting up to this giant tower where she's among people and looking pretty, because that's what masks, I guess, can do in the future. And then she talks to Paris or Nose and says, well, you didn't come to this bridge like you said you were going to, because he said he was going to do that earlier. And then she is chased off the goddamn tower and falls and all that stuff. And, oh yes, and then the state finds out about this. And all this weird shit's going on. But then she becomes friends with Shay. And it's like, I think they were trying to lean into a possible love interest, thing with Brienne and Joey, or at least Brienne liking Joey. I mean, I guess, I don't know. They didn't really allow that to breathe either. But they instantly become friends. There is this skateboarding scene or this surfboarding or whatever, this hoverboarding thing that honestly featured terrible special effects. So Shay basically reveals to her within, I think we're like 30 minutes in tops. Oh, by the way, this guy David is real, the smoke is real, and please come with me. Oh, you don't want to? Here's a coded sheet, and come with, and only you can read this. Somehow. Well, then Laverne Cox basically says, well, hey, you should go over there and everything because we're going to have to delay your surgery unless you tell us where Shay is. Oh, you don't want to? We'll go over there anyway and lead us there. They put a bunch of tracking stuff in her deal that she doesn't know about. She says she doesn't know about. Quite frankly, they made Joey King's character really stupid. Laverne deserves better. Everyone does, except McGee and the... I'm sorry, but the writing is fucking abysmal here. And Vanessa Taylor actually did write the Divergent movie, or at least the first one, so at least she actually seems like she might know what she's doing. Maybe they're just putting the blame on her. David apparently is developing a weapon that is going to destroy them all, but that's not the case. Cable basically uses Paris as a weapon. Just using the Eiffel Towering everybody. That's kind of gross, but let's just move on from that. So yeah, uses him as a weapon. And there's weird shit going on. The state's basically trying to get over to this area to smoke. Smoke, not now, Terry. And they get in a helicopter. This is after there's a character named Corey that works with David that doesn't trust Tally, which you can't blame her, but Shay trusts her. David trusts her because there's a quick romance, a very quick romance. But then there's this fire, and Shay falls down in it, and then Joey King dives into it and rescues her. Because these guards are getting closer. And then she meets David's parents. Just keep chucking shit at us is what I noted. It's not even that the movie's necessarily hard to follow, it's just hard to care when you aren't given a chance to really digest anything that you are being, or is being hurled at you. Meets the parents. The parents used to be surgeons for the state. They tell all this stuff about the lesions. We have this cure. Oh wait, these guards suddenly show up because Joey King and this romance and all this stuff. Joey King ended up throwing this necklace thing into the fire, but as our Lord and Savior's Dokken once said, into the fire once more. Yeah, so basically all these guards show up. Paris snaps the dad's neck. Laverne really is trying here, again, is what I noted. And then, yeah, everybody gets captured, but then she decides to fight back and blow one of them up. And Laverne says, don't worry, she'll come back. David's upset, or is going to go into the city despite the fact he's never been in the city. And then Joey King basically says, you haven't been to the city, I have. You don't have to trust me, but just follow me. Also, the fact that they are making it like Joey King is supposed to be one of the Uglies when there is nothing wrong with how Joey King looks. I'm just saying. I mean, I know she's in her mid-20s, but come on, we can appreciate that Joey King has a face made for Hollywood and has a bright personality about her. She was able to display that a little bit in The Family Affair, another Netflix original that did not use her to her proper power. Did feature Nicole Kidman, though. Nicole Kidman in a completely different movie. But nevertheless, so basically, her and David team up. They instantly get some people involved. Some other students that believe in the smoke, and we want the smoke. The street prophets apparently are around. That explains why I hate it. And they hoverboard their way into this Capitol building where all these ships are popping out of. And they instantly rescue the prisoners. Corey's upset, but then Corey's instantly not upset. And it turns out Shay actually got her surgery done. And Bran, I think she looks better with short hair, but the long hair worked for her. She's in a nice ball gown and all that. She's like, well, no, I look pretty. I did everything. It's the idea that they're trying to control. It's like Stepford Wives for idiots. Ironic, given the Stepford Wives setting. But, yeah, suddenly the dad, David, the mom, David, and Joey King are going to get in these surgical pods that just happen to be there. But then the helicopter shows up with a flamethrower and basically just flames everybody. I thought Laverne Cox got burned, but evidently not. They just did bad editing there. So, Paris is going to stop them. but he has a scar on his hand that got healed before, but then a piece of glass got caught in there like before, and it's a way to reason with him and get him, and then, oh no, Joey King wasn't able to, because David saw, Paris put his hand on, Tally's face like that, or the side of her head, thought that he was going to snap her neck, so David attacks. He's getting beat up and then gets pushed off and then falls off because he instantly realizes, wait, Tally, and then he falls. But he falls in the water, but we don't see him die. So I bet you they're going to do that for the sequel. Please don't do a sequel. Just let this die. Let it die. It is terrible. So Shay is changed, and she doesn't want to be changed back. But then, Tally, brilliant idea, even though they've all escaped. So you have this, the mother managed to get this compound that would work with her compound to change things back and reverse the brain changing process. But she says, heh. And Joey's like, I'll let them capture me and turn me pretty, and then you can rescue me in the sequel. She didn't say that, but she might as well have. Yeah, and then Joey King, don't get me wrong. Nice, attractive, 24, 25-year-old. Look, isn't considered ugly. It's kind of like when they tried to make Rachel Lee Cook all the way back in She's All That, the ugly duckling, despite the fact she was Rachel Lee Cook at that point, 22, 23? She's not much older than I am, but nevertheless, she might not even be that old. Joey King is all golden and has the golden eyes and stuff like that. No, I feel pretty, oh so pretty, and I hate this movie so much. I did my best to describe that plot, but it's like, if you've read the books, let me know if it compares to the books. Did they just rush through a lot? If you saw this movie, did you find any potential in it? Because I sure as fuck didn't. Yeah, Uglies is just really, really bad. Really, really fucking bad. A rush job, a cash job, a manufacturing job. Netflix strikes out again. Agree, disagree, F, just in case you didn't figure that out. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description, and my letterbox in the description as well. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.